2 years into our marriage, the city's elite still sighed over Julian's 3-year battle against his family, all to make me his wife. But the very day I found out I was pregnant, footage of his ex-girlfriend Sera returning to the city went viral. In the video, they passed in the airport terminal. Then both turned at the same instant, their eyes meeting across the crowded hall. The comments painted a unified picture of romantic fantasy. Now this is real love. If Sera hadn't gotten a terminal illness and left him, Aria would never have had a chance. I tried to dismiss it as meaningless online noise. But then I saw one comment that made my entire body freeze. He didn't just love Sera for her face. It was her voice. And his new wife sounds just like her. Aria POV. 2 years after our wedding, the city's elite circles were still buzzing with the romantic tale of how Julian Thorne had defied his family for 3 years just to make me his bride. But the very day I found out I was pregnant, footage of his ex-girlfriend, Sera returning the city went viral. In the video, they brushed past each other in the airport lobby, then turned back, their eyes locking across the distance. The comment section below the video was almost universally gushing with praise. Now this is real love. Sera is even prettier than a Hollywood star. She's also an independent journalist who's exposed so many social injustices. A real justice warrior. If Sera hadn't gotten a terminal illness and broken up with him, Aria Hayes wouldn't have stood a chance with Julian. At first, I told myself not to care about these online rumors. But then I saw one comment that made my entire body freeze. Julian isn't like other powerful executives. He's very particular about women's voices. He liked Miss Vance not just for her looks, but for her voice. His current wife's voice is almost identical to hers. My mind exploded. Julian had this bizarre habit. He liked to turn off all the lights during intimate moments, making me whisper his name over and over. Sometimes, he'd even have me record a news article for him to play on loop in his office. I'd never thought much of it, even believing it was our own special ritual of intimacy. My hands trembled as I dug out those recorded news articles, and that's when I saw each one listed Miss Vance as the source. Tears splashed onto the screen, one by one. My heart felt like it had been plunged into a block of ice. I rushed to his company, desperate for an explanation. But just as I reached the door, through the slight crack, I heard laughter. Julian, Sera's back and she's recovered. You still haven't divorced? You haven't actually fallen for that substitute, have you? His voice was indifferent, yet I couldn't miss the hint of indulgence hidden beneath. Don't be ridiculous. I only married her to fulfill Sera's last wish, just a charade to ease her mind while she got treatment. I stood frozen outside the door, my legs turning to jelly. The laughter inside the office continued. Sera was just afraid you'd be all alone if she didn't make it off the operating table. It just so happened that woman had donated blood to her, so Sera insisted you pursue her. Though, her body is incredible. How about you trick her into a fake divorce, and when she's heartbroken, I'll go after her. Of course, if you can't bear to let her go, just forget it. After a brief silence, his familiar yet alien voice replied. She's been with me for so many years, after all. If you're serious, go for it. But if you're just messing around, forget it. Sera would blame me if things got messy. A substitute? My head felt like it had been violently struck. I stumbled back, unable to listen anymore. So, the happiness I thought I had was nothing more than a play from beginning to end. And I was the only one who had fallen too deeply into the role. He had once fought tooth and nail with his parents for me, giving up his inheritance. He had even moved into a tiny apartment for me, arguing with the landlord for 2 hours over a trivial amount of rent. He, who never cooked, had made me breakfast for 5 years. But all of it a performance. How utterly ridiculous. Back home, I rushed into the bathroom, sinking into the bathtub, trying to calm myself. As I dried my hair, I tried to reassure myself maybe he was just joking with his friends. Men together, aren't they always bragging? But that night, he only sent one message. Tied up with work. Go to sleep. I sat on the sofa all night. He didn't return until dawn. He looked relaxed. A grin touched his lips when he saw me. There's my sleepy head. Couldn't sleep without me? Look, I brought your favorite tarts. I didn't move, didn't speak. He seemed completely oblivious, casually pulled out a document, and handed it to me. Aria, the company is under federal investigation. I don't want to drag you into this, so how about we get divorced first, then remarry once the investigation is over? I stared at him silently, catching the strong scent of roses on him. I never wore rose-scented perfume. How he managed, spending a night with another woman and still conjuring up such a ridiculous excuse to trick me into a divorce.